Hello, how's it going, shitters? Welcome to the much awaited, much anticipated, at least for me, Steak Cut tier list. Here, the pictures I added wouldn't display if I went full screen, so we're gonna be out of full screen, and you now get to look at my very funny bookmark page on Google. Now, I just have to not dox myself. Let's get started. We're gonna be tiering them from White to Jamie. These are just names I picked for no particular reason, just random names that came to my head, and we're gonna be using them as S to F. So, these cuts of steak, we're going to be ranking based on flavor, tenderness, affordability. Starting off with the very popular filet mignon. A lot of people would rank this fucking F tier. It's very popular to just shit on fillets just because. I'm gonna put it in the A tier because the only thing that knocks it down for me is the price. If you ever had one and aren't lying to yourself and aren't going into it with like preconceived notions, you'll note that it's a very, very tender and very nice steak. You do have to go into it with the right expectations. You shouldn't be expecting the beefiest of flavors, but it is absolutely wonderful and very luxurious. And as a special occasion thing, it's super nice to not have to cut around the fat, cope, and say that like, oh yeah, that's actually the best part, whatever. You just have a nice chunk. It's very shapely, it's very cool. And if you can afford it, it would be that in the S tier, but considering the price, it's an A. Now, next up we have the flank steak. The flank steak I'm going to be putting directly in F for a few things. It used to be a very affordable cut, and praise is like, oh wow, it's a hidden gem. It's very, very tender. Not tender, it's very flavorful, and it's very affordable. There are other cuts with better flavor, and the cost has gone so far up because this is one of the most popular steaks now that is just, there's no fucking redeeming qualities. You're basically just buying like half of a saddle, right? You're basically just buying the saddle that you would put on a horse, except it's like a little bit wetter and more floppy. Now, next up, we have the flat iron steak here. Flat iron steak would have gone directly at the top of S tier for me. Also, we're going to be ranking these like, if they're first up, then they're the best. This would have gone directly up in S tier for me. However, it has suffered the plight of the fucking flank steak. And now it's gotten super, super giga expensive. So I'm going to be putting it still. And for some reason, actually, no, I'm going to be putting it a little bit below because here's the thing. If you can get your hands on a super nice flat iron steak, it's for affordable price, it's one of the best. However, most supermarkets, there's a part of the flank steak that's super fucking tough. If you ever had one, you probably know what I'm talking about. There's a big off veiny off steak. It runs through it, and it just makes it completely inedible. And like the past 3 that I've had, the supermarket just seems super insistent on giving you that piece. Actually, this may be a bit too harsh because those two things aside, they've upped the price like the flank steak, but the flat iron actually has something going for it. It has amazing flavor and amazing tenderness. So actually, I'm putting it above the fillet for that. If you get a good flank steak or a flat iron, it's above the fillet. But just in general, this is more reliable. Gonna be excited to see what the comments say. If you're overwhelmed by all the culinary and nutrition advice you see online, but are simultaneously fascinated by how good the food you see on like Shorts, TikTok, Instagram looks, then it's time to check out Common Sense Cooking. First-time purchases not only get 50% off, a little bit more than that actually, but also get to hop on a one-to-one call with me where we discuss a culinary topic of your choosing. In addition, these same first 10 get to request an additional module that gets added to the stack of the original course. Check out the link in the description now. Don't delay, act now. Thank you very much for your patience. Now let's get back to the actual video. On this one, also I'm not doing the autistic like new YouTuber thing where they just have like an empty cup for no reason. I'm actually like in the process of drinking something, so. Relatability, please subscribe. Now, hanger steak. Usually we save the best for last, but fuck it. Hanger steak for me goes at the very top. This is the last bastion. This is like the fall of fucking Constantinople where all the other cuts of steak got absolutely like raw dog pissed on with the price, the inflation. Since the hanger steak is so rare, there's basically only whatever you see on this picture, that's how many hanger steaks you can get out of one cow. They're so rare and so like super fucking hard to find in grocery stores that the price scalpers haven't bought it yet, basically, right? Like how, if you remember, the 30 series GPUs. Hold on, I have one right over there. Yeah, the 30 series GPUs, the price got so gouged and inflated because they became very popular. Everyone was looking for when it was quarantine. Just like these steak cuts, they've become very popular with the cutting board steak and egg videos. And everyone's now looking for steaks, and the affordable cuts got fucking skyrocketed because now everyone knows about them, and everyone who's looking for an affordable steak would search for it. Now, this has yet to happen. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust the camera. Here we are. Now, this is yet to happen with the hanger steak because, again, it's such like kind of hard to find in regular supermarkets, grocery stores. If you can find one, it's going to be really affordable and it's going to be super flavorful. If I got to choose between a hanger and a fillet and it was the same price, I may choose a fillet. But if they were even slightly different prices, 100 fucking times out of 100, I'm picking the hanger because it has better flavor. It's like looser grained, it's coarser. So I like the texture better actually than the fillet because the fillet is very compact. And overall, it's just a way fucking better value steak, and it mogs the shit out of pretty much everything below it. I'm gonna be honest. Now, yeah, nothing can compete with a hanger steak if you can find one. So, the New York strip, I'm gonna be honest, is going in fucking B for me. The reason why, New York strip is obviously an S tier steak. Here's the thing. If you get any of these like prime grade, dry aged or above, all of these go up to the S tier. Because that's just the quality inherent to the cow. But New York strips, if you get like, so what I'm used to nowadays is seeing like a choice New York strip for like $17 a pound, and that's an absolute insult. At that point, a fillet is honestly a little bit more worth it for like $30 a pound. So the reason I'm putting it in B tier, again, before the huge inflation incident of like the past 10 years, it would be an A. However, the price has knocked it down to B because, as you'll see, in A there are a lot more affordable cuts that are very, very good and very worth your time. Next up, we have a picanha. Very, very guga, very nice. So, as to not piss off the internet, I'm going to put it in S tier. It actually does belong in S tier. Actually, let's see what else am I going to put in S tier. Yeah, sure, I'm going to put it in S tier. If you can find a good picanha, a good quality one, you know how to cook it well, and it's not like the end piece, right? Because, so, picanha is like triangular shaped. Here it is, from thinnest to longest. If you get from the very longest, it will be super tough, and Brazilian people will feed it to their dogs usually. But, or at least so I heard from Guga. But if you get another part of the picanha that's actually very good, you'll notice that it has a super strong flavor, it's very tender, and it's very nice. It is like a little bit more specialized, it's not for everyone, so I'm gonna put the hanger steak above it, but in the same tier. Maybe I should just create a separate tier for the picanha on its own. No, it's fine. So it is an amazing steak, and it, for some reason, even though it's super popular, it hasn't fallen victim to the same inflation that the others have on this list. So it remains affordable with the hanger steak, and so for that reason they're both going in the S tier, and the flavor and tenderness is just off the charts. Now, porterhouse. Porterhouses are basically like a mortgage each, so by price alone I'm putting it fucking D tier. However, for special occasion and coolness factor, if it's a special occasion, I'm putting it at the very top, right? If it's a special occasion, then it's pretty much one of the best steaks you can get. But just as an everyday thing, I have to knock it down a little bit. So I have to average it out and put it kind of at the bottom of this tier. Because what it is, I'm sure this is no secret at this point, it's a New York strip on one end and a fillet on the other end. The thing that makes a porterhouse different, as opposed to a T-bone, is with the T-bone, the fucking autist scammers, they cut out most of the fillet, but they got like, as you can see here, they left a very little bit off on. I don't know why, just so it can look like old cartoons, but it doesn't make sense. So they basically keep the fillet on there, and for that reason it's way more expensive, but also way better. And just the experience, it's also super hard to cook. If you're gonna get something at a steakhouse, I recommend a porterhouse because it's very impractical to cook at home, and it's a super good experience. But price-wise, it's so fucking expensive, and both of these like mug it for everyday use. However, this may be just one of the best steaks, ignoring logistics. If you get a good porterhouse, this may be one of the best steaks. So, the ribeye. This is the king of steaks. Everyone loves it. Everyone rides it very much. And yeah, here's the thing. It is amazing, absolutely lovely, if you get a super good quality one. If all of these cuts are choice, then I'm sorry, the hanger steak and picanha shit stomp fucking all over the ribeye. If the ribeye is prime, it's then gives it more of a chance to compete because it has a bunch more fat and a bunch more things to melt and render out and make it lovely, and the actual muscle fiber tastes better. But again, with the inflation, I just find it super hard to put it there. Okay, no, this is like a meme fucking tier list. This is like, it's super toxic to put the filet above these. So I'm gonna put the ribeye in the same tier. Yeah, above the flat iron, because these two are actually reasonably priced nowadays, which is fucking horrendous. Well, in that case, yeah, I'll just bring the flat iron one down, because these seem to be around the same prices, maybe a little bit cheaper. And these are the big three. If you haven't caught on yet, the ribeye, the filet, and the New York strip, these are the big three. Steak cuts that are super popular, the price is super high. The flat iron is now getting to be on par with, like, as expensive as the New York strip and ribeye, which is fucking ridiculous. And the ribeye is, in my opinion, just objectively better if quality is equated than New York strip. And the price also reflects this. One is going to be higher than the other by default, even though they're going to be very close together. So the ribeye is going to plant itself firmly over here because of its so it's really good, it's amazing. And again, all these steaks, prime or above, dry aged or above, go instantly to the S tier. However, if I'm looking at like a choice steak for like $15 a pound or more, there's just no fucking shot I'm getting a ribeye above both of these. But if I manage to get my hands on a good one, it's still amazing. The sirloin. Call me crazy. I may just have to put the sirloin above all of these. The sirloin is a really, really good balance of flavor, tenderness, and price. And it seems to get shit on for basically no reason. Maybe because people assume it's like worse than it's going to be. It's going to be worse than it actually is. And that just doesn't have a lot of basis. This is the one cut that even steakhouses won't scam you for, which is a fucking insane statement, right? Because steakhouses absolutely love scamming people. And even sirloins, even there, are affordable. Yes, they're a little bit less tender than the New York strip. Filet. They're a little bit less flavorful than the ribeye. But just, if this is the filet's tenderness, this is the fucking ribeye's flavor, the sirloin is like just here, but the price is like half. Unironically, in this economy, that's way more worth your money for everyday use. And trust me, I was one of these fucking glazers of ribeyes. I was like, you don't cook out, what is this? Years back, I would be like, you're not making a ribeye, you're not a real chef. Trust me, if you're like a real human being, and price is a factor for you at this point, these three are super hard to beat. Now let's move on. T-bone steak fucking blows penis, but not as much as the flank. Basically everything I said about the porterhouse applies. It's just like a worse porterhouse. The only difference is if you go to Fiorenza, I don't know if what they call it in Italy. Actually, let's Google. Hold on. Hold on. Firenze. Okay, yeah, sure. Basically, if you go to that city and you get a very nice 3-inch thick fucking humongous what are they called? Hold on. Yeah. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. Okay, fuck it. Bistecca Fiorentina. Yeah, if you get one of these guys, if you look at them, they're absolutely humongous. And they're T-bone. They even look like a porterhouse because of how fucking large they are. Should we go on YouTube? Fuck it. Should we go on YouTube mid-recording a YouTube video? Here we are. Good thing all my... Bro, Fucking floppy Okay, let's see if they show it to us raw. No, poor guys, they showed it to us very raw. Now. Holy fuck, that is a porterhouse. Well. Let's see, let's see. Okay. So I think my case stands. Let's see this. What would be immoral? Okay, I see. I will never know. This guy looks Hungarian, like, oddly. Okay. Obviously, food pornography, very nice. That's a pretty big fillet. That's a pretty big fillet. So, my one saving grace for the T-bone would be that if you have that specific steak where it's like 3 inches thick and it's like humongous fucking very, very high quality, then then sure, then it can go higher. But all this is assuming quality is equated. And with that, there's just absolutely no reason. Like, T-bones are pretty much extinct. Because it's like buying the same steak for... It's like buying same car, same price. One is just vastly better than the other. In my humble opinion, it doesn't make any sense. It's just like a... Maybe someone educate me, but I just don't know why fucking T-bones exist over porterhouses. Because the porterhouse is like the original thing, man. Maybe just for the shape? I don't know, because that must be so sad. You just get the little small fucking corner shittery of the fillet. So, T-bones, in of themselves, everything's the same is great about them. It's just there's less fillet, and therefore it's like, why would anyone get a T-bone? So, tri-tip. Tri-tip as a steak. I'm tempted to put it in here to fill out this tier. Recently though, as like tenderness has become like less of an issue for me, I don't mind it as much. It probably does belong here, right? As a steak, if quality is equated, this is way better grilled whole than cut into steaks. That being said, if you're gonna cut it up in steaks and make it, it's super, super cool in comparison to like the fucking flank steak. Because again, it's affordable, it's cheap, but it's like it's not very tender, but it does have a lot of flavor. And the reason I'm not putting it higher is it's a great steak, it's a good steak, assuming obviously quality is equated. I'm gonna say that again. But it just doesn't compare. It just doesn't compare to the others, right? Even for the value. Like, this is maybe on a giga budget, I would go here. But nah, I don't even think so. Yeah, maybe I'll put it above the flank steak, flat iron. I always confuse those two. You can tell the difference because the flank has very long grains and the flat iron is like thinner usually and has very small grains, which is why it's so tender. Except for that one part which has a long odd vein. So this tri-tip, yeah, I may be tempted to just fill in the fucking Zakarian tier because Joffrey Zakarian, GOAT. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I'll put it there because the tri-tip, I think that represents it very well. Just like Joffrey Zakarian is the third lowest tier, which is fucking ridiculous because if you know this guy, observe. He's super cool. He's a really cool guy. He's an amazing chef. Amazing, renowned chef. It's just, if you look at the other three, man, it's just very hard to compete with fucking Wolfgang Puck, Gordon Ramsay, and Marco Pierre White. So, just like the tri-tip, it's a really good steak, but it's just hard to compete with the ones that are placed a little bit higher. Well, Joffrey Zakarian is better of a chef than the tri-tip is of a steak, let's just say. But yeah, the comparison still stands a little bit. These guys are fucking all super goats. These guys, all jokes aside, who I named the tiers after, are all like giga super chads in their own respect. Even Joshua Weissman. The reason I put Joshua Weissman as a fucking one of the lowest tiers is because he just makes a lot of unfunny jokes in his videos. Like, he's super talented, super amazing. It's just I don't like the dick jokes that he makes. So there you go. And then Jamie Oliver is just like big meme. So I think he's kind of okay with that. So the tri-tip gets put here not because it's bad, but because in the current economy, it's just hard to compete with all these. Yeah, that may be the most controversial one, and that may be the one I have the hardest time placing there. Now, the Terry's Major. The Terry's Major is, if you can find it, it goes up fucking here, right? Because it's another one of those cuts that, it's like a fillet essentially, but smaller and less expensive. So it's another one of those cuts that if you can find it, are amazing. I don't even know if it beats the hanger. Yeah, no, it doesn't beat the hanger. But if you can't find it, which you probably can't find it, it just gets knocked down. And this is I think maybe the only one on this list that I haven't tried myself. And it's just like, it's very hard to put it above something. So let's put it also in here, because it's super hard to find. It's basically only online. And you're taking a gamble, and I haven't tasted it yet. But theory, based on lore, based on the data books, based on fucking Kishimoto interviews, it's supposed to be really good. I just haven't had it yet personally, so I gotta place it a little bit more safe. Top round steaks fucking blow dick. I don't have to explain this very much. I don't know what... Oh, this is an eye of round, actually. Maybe get the whole eye of round and, like, use it for very, very thin roasts. Thinly sliced roasts. But I don't have to spend a lot of time on this. This is one of the cheapest cuts, but it also fucking, like, really sucks. It's super garbage. I would rather spend the money on a fillet, because, like, the extra $20 a pound over this is just gonna save a bunch of heartbreak and bad emotions. Skirt steak, I'm also gonna put into the turbo dog shit tier, because it suffers from the same plight as the flank. And I know it looks super good on videos, and I know it looks very nice when there's like chimichurri next to it, and the guy who makes it has a nice personality, and he like fucking cuts it up all cool. But if you've gone through the process of like buying one, and it's not like a super giga high quality one, if you've gone through the process of buying a skirt steak, you have been a little bit let down. Don't fucking lie to me. You have been a little bit let down. Also, flap steak isn't on this list. It would probably be here or here. Actually, probably here now. Probably in this tier, because the price has gone up so much on that as well. But flap steak, in my opinion, is just better skirt. Call me insane again, but if you think about, just don't look at online. If I looked at things only from online, I would put this in here. But if you look at your real experience, and if you've had a fucking skirt steak and you cooked it yourself, you've been a little bit disappointed because it's super chewy. It's super chewy, the texture isn't fun, and it's not worth like $15 a pound or whatever fucking horseshit ridiculous price they charge these days, just so you can like pretend to be a ethnic grill master who, like, I don't know, man. This is a LARP steak. This is the ultimate LARP steak, in my opinion. But if you put the feelings aside, because yes, it does look very cool on social media, it's just not that good compared to any of these. Like, I would take anything above it over the fucking skirt steak any day. Let's just make sure these are all in order, and then we can conclude. Yeah, probably, actually. Here we are. Yeah, this looks to be about good. I put it above the flank, because flank just has no, like, very few redeeming qualities. And it has, it's like, oh, I don't want to say this is a little bit controversial. How do I say this nicely? There are a couple of girls who, like, maybe talk a big game and talk very loudly, when sometimes they just have a inflated sense of their beauty, let's just say. And I think flank steak is exactly that. So, should I go presentation mode? Well, fuck, it just deleted it. It just deleted all the ones I added again. Okay, well, follow at Adam Goodrich 27 for making the original list. That concludes the steak tier list. Go in the previous frame, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, it deleted the ones that I added. But thank you very much for sticking by. if you get something from the S tier, right, and you cook it and it ends up being one of your new favorite steaks, report back to this video, punch the like button, please, and then go down in the description. I have a paid product there. It's $47 on pre-sale. That helps you a lot more with this cooking, but also nutrition stuff, relating it to the gym and relating it to kind of anthropology, human culture, cuisines, things like that. It's very nice. It's a very good product. Some say it's the best. Some I say that. I don't say that. The people have said it's the best they've ever seen. Fucking Orange Man impression in the Big 25. If this helps you at all, please check that out. Smash subscribe, smash like for more funny moments like this if you like my sense of humor. Uh, God help you. But also, thank you very much for watching. And remember, you may not have a lot of time, but you have enough.